Well, never thought I would do one of these, but hey, here we go, down the rabbit hole of hot guys and girls, small children, because why not? Also, it sometimes includes this one furry character that decided to mess your 50-50 poll. And someone who looks like they should be on a registered sex offender list. Wuthering Waves is a free-to-play action RPG developed and published by Kuro Games set in the post-apocalyptic world after a catastrophe hits, which results in monsters roaming all over the place. You step into the shoes of Rover, the classic trope of an amnesia character, and set to do some righteous ass whooping. Steal the souls of your enemy, apparently they're called echoes, and look cool while doing so. Now, before we go through the game, I do need to address a couple of things. 1. This is made after completing the currently available campaign as of the 26th of May. 2. I am aware that performance-related issues were reported on PC. Didn't have any on my end personally, but there were issues with the English voiceover skipping without being triggered to skip sometimes. Not to mention, like, the text at the bottom didn't fully fill out for some reason, but anyways, those are the only two things really worth mentioning before we get into the actual nitty-gritty of the game. The good. Number 1, combat. Do you want to feel like a god? Do you want to show off your amazing skills? Do you want to feel like you've been up all night with the blood in your veins replaced by caffeine and energy drinks? Yes? Then I have some good news for you. This is what to expect from the combat.
They can't get... I must...
What is this?
Stay vigilant. Acceptable damage. Such a nuisance.
Sounds are fading.
Darkness falls.
And yes, combat feels good. You even get these tutorial challenges that show you some of the combos you can do with each character you have and also give you some nice rewards to boot. Number 2, world traversal. You don't have to worry about going from one place to another, as there are plenty of fast travel points, including that one that is shoved up a mountain's ass, because why not? Along those travel points, you get a sprinkling of grapple points. You have also the ability to run up walls. Coincidentally, if the AI wills it, you can pole vault over the roof sometimes, instead of hanging there like a rag in the wind. Also, side note, the hook is really good in combat. Also, special mention here is that the world is filled with enough loot to get you enough currency to get you by for some time without having to worry about grinding for daily pulls. Area quest. Probably the best story of the game at this point. That's 14 plus hours of gameplay so far, mind you. For example, not spoilering it, I hope. You can figure out the aerodynamics yourself, I ain't a physics major. You meet 2 researchers that are trying to clear an area out of a toxin that prevents you from accessing it. And at the end, when you do that, see this huge ass tree bloom, the zone changes, and that unlocks even more stuff to do. Number 4, motivation.
You shall die!
I am the storm that is approaching.
Well, now that that's out of the way, the bad. Number 1, the main story. Do you want to feel like an anime protagonist from a harem that just had all the girls fawn over him for just breathing? Well, I do have some good news for you. Now, I need to put my tinfoil hat here for a minute. Imagine a story where you wake up, the cute girls find you and are wary of you. Since, well, I don't know, you're passed out in the middle of nowhere, probably after a crazy party or something, but hey, who knows? Just speculating here. Then, the local fauna decides to go apeshit on you three, and after a long fought battle, that doubles the tutorial mind you, where one of the girls nearly avoids tanking a mob to the face, well, you know, the story goes after that, save her, yada yada yada, you guys actually bond over all of this, you know, human development. Then you make your way to the starting city and the thing just kicks off from there. Like, they report what's going on and then they start fawning over. Sounds like somewhat of a better story, I hope. Now, if only the closed beta test gave proper feedback about the story. They did, which is why it was rewritten. The meh. Number 1, side quests. Alright, I might as well talk about the side quests. They're forgettable. The only thing that was interesting with them was the fact that I accidentally found a crazy cat lady that tried proposing to me after I found her missing pet cat. Talk about desperation. Side note, that also unlocked a daily quest with her, where I have to rescue more cats. Fun. Oh, and you get to name them. For example, my personal favorites, Insomnia and Crybaby so far. Yeah, the conclusion. Overall, if you're looking for a good story out of the game, 14 plus hours in, I still haven't found one. At least for the main story, that is. You want combat? Oh boy, we have combat in spades here in WoW Industries. Literally, the moment you get in the game, it takes 5 minutes, maybe even less if you decide to skip the dialogue at the start, before you start beating some poor sod into the ground just because they had the audacity of breathing next to you. Or next to your research material. So there are some good side stories. Ultimately, Wuthering Waves is a solid game with good combat. If you're a combat person, or you just want to show off your skills with the starting character, because surprisingly enough, starting character is good so far, give Wuthering Waves a shot. It's free to play, you're not gonna miss much, or lose much for that matter.